Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm from Graham. Ahead today, is the Biden administration about to put the United States under the authority of the World Health Organization? Some say yes, but are those concerns valid? A federal judge has put lifting Title 42 on hold again for now, but it will eventually be lifted, making the historic border crisis even worse. Plus, Nancy Pelosi says the science on abortion has not changed, but others disagree, saying now babies can survive outside the womb at a much earlier age. And now we can actually see what's happening with the unborn.
In 2022, not only do we have ultrasounds, but we have, 3D ultrasounds. We have ultrasounds where you can really get this beautiful, clear image of a baby growing in the womb.
Why one estimate says 93% of women who have ultrasounds choose to keep their babies. And the parents of 6 children, all under 12 years of age, saw behaviors in them after their online time they didn't like. So they took action.
It wasn't until we fully pulled the plug on all of their screen entertainment cold turkey, we gave them a break. And it wasn't until we did that it was like removing a filter from our kids. We finally got our kids back.
This mother explains how you can do a digital detox for your children. All those stories and more are ahead from the CBN Newsroom.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
We begin this half hour with questions about the Biden administration and whether it is about to put the United States under the authority of the World Health Organization. Many have sounded the alarm on social media, but is that alarm actually warranted? DeFrank is on the story.
The World Health Organization's 75th World Health Assembly is underway in Geneva, Switzerland, and one of the items on the agenda are amendments to the WHO's international health regulations. There's been widespread concern that amendments offered by the Biden administration would hand over U.S. national sovereignty on matters of health to the WHO. They would allow the WHO to declare a health emergency in the United States, require the U.S. to report to an international compliance committee on whether it was obeying WHO directives, and would create an enforcement mechanism to essentially punish nations that don't follow the WHO's directives.
And that would mean whether it's social distancing, whether businesses are essential or not, whether churches are essential, lockdowns, different kinds of treatment, all of that would be under the jurisdiction and sovereignty of an international body and no longer under the United States of America.
Representative Chris Smith, ranking member of the House Global Health Subcommittee, called it an egregious breach of constitutional principle. Adding to suspicion about the amendments is that they were sent to the WHO in January, apparently without a public announcement, and were only discovered online last month. The amendments are certainly worded in a way that would seem to give the WHO authority over the U.S. government. But how much teeth would they actually have? The WHO Director General has branded claims that the amendments are a power grab, distortions, and disinformation, saying the WHO could not override the sovereignty of member nations.
WHO is an expression of member state-owned sovereignty, and WHO is entirely what the sovereign 194 member states want WHO to be.
And a Georgetown University law professor who helped write the international health regulations that the Bush White House signed on to in 2005 said the WHO only has the power to make recommendations. It could not force a country to allow WHO staff to interfere with its public health decision-making. Travis Weber, Vice President for Policy and Government Affairs at the Family Research Council, says while the amendments offered are disturbing, even if the international health regulations had the force of a treaty, which they do not, the U.S. Constitution would have the final say and not the WHO.
It does not trump the Constitution. Even in the case of a treaty, it's similar to a statute passed by Congress in its level of authority. The Constitution still trumps that.
And a new report says the amendments are now not expected to even be decided on this week. There is, however, concern the amendments could be incorporated into a new global pandemic treaty, which the WHO has been calling for. Republican Senators Steve Daines and Tom Cotton sent a letter to the White House Friday calling for the U.S. to leave the WHO as it did under President Trump, saying the World Health Organization absolutely cannot be trusted with more power. It's clear from several of the WHO's own statements that it wants more global authority to fight future pandemics. What's not clear is if the Biden administration's proposed amendments would grant it the power some say it will. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
The Justice Department says the Biden administration will appeal a judge's ruling COVID-related restrictions on migrants and the southern border must continue. Those restrictions, known as Title 42, were supposed to end today, but eventually they're expected to be lifted. Ending Title 42 will allow millions more migrants into the United States, and illegal immigration has already grown to levels never seen before in the U.S. CBN's Tara Mergener has more on this escalating crisis.
The numbers are in, and April a historic high. DHS recorded more than 234,000 immigrants at the U.S.-Mexico border, the most in agency history, and a 114% increase from this time a year ago. By all accounts, the numbers will skyrocket to new heights with the end of Title 42. Last month, nearly 97,000 people who illegally entered the U.S. were expelled under the Trump-era pandemic policy, aimed at slowing the spread of COVID. The Biden administration wants to end it next week, fulfilling a promise to revoke the public health directive when no longer needed.
Is it safe to rescind Title 42?
I think given the level of infection at the time, which is right now, that I think that the CDC decision was a reasonable decision.
But several states have filed suit to keep Title 42 in place, arguing the administration is not following proper procedure to end it, and that Border Patrol will be further overrun.
As long as we continue to release people into the United States, reward them for violating our laws, they're going to continue to come.
The main focus of this administration after Title 42 is to detain people in these facilities along the border. And then when those facilities fill up, they're planning on releasing them onto the streets in border cities.
Mayorkas himself admits the end of Title 42 will cause a new wave of migration. The health order has been used nearly 2 million times to keep migrants from entering this country.
That does not mean that the border is open beginning on May 23rd. We continue to enforce the laws of this country.
Agents pleading for more manpower and technology to deal with the ever-increasing numbers since Biden took office are bracing for as much as a threefold surge. Mayorkas insists the U.S. is ramping up personnel, efficiency, and enforcement to handle it.
The preparation of which began in September of last year. We knew very well that the CDC's Title 42 authority would not be around forever.
As migrants continue to fan out into communities across the country, Border Patrol is also warning about a growing security risk, saying illegal traffic has shifted from primarily family units to single adults, including drug smugglers and other criminals now more easily able to slip by outnumbered agents. New polls show 58% of Americans disapprove of the way Biden is handling the border crisis. In Washington, I'm Tara Mergener, CBN News.
President Biden said the United States would intervene with its military to defend Taiwan if China were to invade the country. Speaking at a news conference in Tokyo after holding talks with the Prime Minister of Japan, the president answered a reporter's question about possible U.S. action if China does attack.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are?
That's the commitment we made.
The U.S. traditionally has avoided making such an explicit security guarantee to Taiwan. The two countries no longer have a mutual defense treaty. A White House official said Biden's comments did not reflect a policy shift. Hillary Clinton personally agreed to release information to a reporter in a 2016 presidential campaign about a supposed connection between Donald Trump's campaign and a Russian bank, even though the Clinton team was not confident the story was true. That was the testimony from Robby Mook, Clinton's former campaign manager in 2016. Mook made that statement during the criminal trial of the Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman, which is part of a special counsel John Durham's inquiry into what actually happened during the Russiagate investigation of the Trump campaign that year. Coming up, as the Supreme Court is expected to rule soon on whether to overturn Roe versus Wade, we're going to take a look at what modern science tells us about how unborn babies in the womb grow and develop, and how pregnant mothers can see those babies with modern ultrasounds. We're going to have that story for you when we come back. San Francisco's Archbishop Salvador Corleone has announced House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is forbidden from receiving communion due to her stance on abortion rights. The move comes as a leaked opinion shows the Supreme Court could overturn Roe versus Wade. For nearly 50 years, pro-lifers have been fighting to end abortion in America, and as Charlene Aaron shows us, many are highlighting the role scientific advancements have played in the fight for life.
While discussing that leaked Supreme Court opinion that signaled a potential end of Roe versus Wade, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made comments regarding abortion that many say highlight just how out of touch her party really is when it comes to the issue of life and the science that supports it.
The science hasn't changed, but the court changed, and therefore they're deciding that we're different.
Dr. Tara Sander-Lee, director of life sciences at Charlotte Lozier Institute, disagrees with Pelosi, adding the speaker seems unaware of technological advancements since Roe.
For 3 years, she's been telling America to follow the science, but at this moment, she's choosing to ignore the science because it's inconvenient to her extreme political agenda.
Since the 1973 ruling legalizing abortion, ultrasound technology has boomed, providing a window into the womb for millions who now post images of their unborn babies on their refrigerators. According to 40 Days for Life, 93% of women who have ultrasounds choose to keep their babies.
Now in 2022, not only do we have ultrasounds, but we have, 3D ultrasounds. We have ultrasounds where you can really get this beautiful, clear image of a baby growing in the womb.
Christina Bennett, a correspondent with the group Live Action, explains how the internet has also provided a unique view of the unborn.
Live Action has a video called Baby Olivia, which goes through the whole development of a baby. You can just go on YouTube and watch that video. Technology through the internet and through, of course, medical science, even just us understanding that babies can feel pain after 20 weeks, even those things we were not aware of.
Dr. Gracie Christie, a diagnostic radiologist and policy advisor for the Catholic Association, submitted a brief in the key Supreme Court case Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health, describing the science used in Roe as outdated.
We've developed a different appreciation of the humanity of the fetus that we didn't have back then through ultrasound, and my brief has a lot to do with that. We included pictures of unborn babies for the justices, and we were really proud of that because they're so compelling.
At the heart of Roe was the question of when life in the womb begins, an issue Christie and others say is clearly proven by newer science.
In 1973, viability was probably 30-something weeks. Now we're down to 22 or 23 weeks. What an amazing difference.
Advancements in prenatal imaging and surgical technology, combined with discoveries in anesthesia for relieving pain, have also been pivotal in ushering in the modern era of fetal surgery.
Imagine this, a surgeon opens a woman's belly, cuts through the wall of her uterus, pulls out her baby with the baby's heart beating, the baby's moving, they anesthetize the baby, operate on the child, and then the mom waits to give birth to hopefully a much healthier baby.
All evidence, many say, can no longer be denied.
This is the truth. This is what science reveals. And so to say otherwise is just simply to ignore the science that's around us today.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
And as the country waits for the Supreme Court's decision on abortion, death threats are rising against the High Court, and the government is getting ready for a surge of violence after the ruling. Federal agencies are investigating multiple warnings of attacks. Caitlin Burke has a look at the possible fallout if Roe versus Wade is reversed.
The threats began just after the leak of Justice Samuel Alito's draft opinion on overturning Roe versus Wade earlier this month. Social media users then began threatening to storm the Supreme Court, burn it down, and murder justices and their clerks. Not long after, this fence went up.
The good men and women at Homeland Security have been right before, and I have to assume they're right in this case. And so the threat level has increased significantly since that draft was improperly released. But we can't let that in any way intimidate our federal judges and or the rest of us.
A DHS memo warns that a broad spectrum of domestic extremists are adopting the narratives surrounding abortion rights. And while abortion-related violence is historically associated with those who oppose abortion, threats are now also coming in from those on the pro-choice side.
These are the same radical groups who want to transform fundamentally the American society. And our society was originally built as a freedom-loving, God-loving society.
Protests surrounding abortion rights have largely been peaceful. However, the office of a pro-life organization in Wisconsin was recently vandalized and damaged by fire. This message left on the building's wall. Experts worry the recent mass shooting in Buffalo, New York, also has implications on the potential violence surrounding a Roe decision.
They're misinformed. They're listening to the mainstream media who are feeding those types of violence and disinformation about abortion, about all of this stuff. And yes, there's a risk here that people like that are going to stoke further, not just disagreements, but actually foment unrest and violence.
The Department of Homeland Security says it remains committed to protecting Americans' right to peacefully protest and will continue to work with its law enforcement partners to ensure no acts of violence are committed. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
Still ahead, why a mother and father decided their 6 children, all under the age of 12, needed a digital detox and the changes it made in their lives and why it works. We're going to hear their story and how you can do it right after this. Children in America spend a huge amount of time staring at screens on their phones or electronic devices. For some, it's an addiction that could follow them into adulthood. That's why one mother took a drastic step and pulled the plug on all her children. Jenna Browder brings us the results of the family's digital detox.
It's the day and age we live in. Technology rules, and sometimes we just need a break. And that's especially true for kids.
We had noticed some behaviors in our kids after screen time that we didn't really like.
Just ask Molly DeFrank, mother of 6, all under the age of 12.
And it wasn't until we fully pulled the plug on all of their screen entertainment cold turkey, we gave them a break. And it wasn't until we did that it was like removing a filter from our kids. We finally got our kids back. And ever since we have made that decision, I've been helping other parents do the same thing.
Her new book, Digital Detox, the 2-week tech reset for kids, begins by taking parents step by step through a 2-week cold turkey detox for their kids. Talk to us a little bit about some of your strategies to, cut back on screen time for parents. I think a lot of parents are kind of at a loss. They don't know what to do here.
You're absolutely right. Most of the parents I help are great parents of amazing kids, and they're already working to monitor their kids' screen time. They're taking away time for bad behavior. They're adding some back, and they're finding it still not working.
Molly says it comes down to brain chemistry. Too much screen time creates excessive levels of dopamine in the brain, the kind that can be addicting. And for kids, it's a problem that can follow them well into their adult lives.
What you're actually doing is you're resetting your kids' dopamine levels, because when they're scrolling, when they're playing, when they're tapping, their dopamine levels in their brains are excessively high. So real life can't compare. That's why they're complaining of boredom. But when you give them this 2-week window to reset those levels back down to real life, you're giving them time to rekindle a love of real life activities.
Things like playing outside, arts and crafts, reading and writing. The second half of the book helps parents come up with a long-term strategy, using their observations from the detox period. So how often should families do a detox?
And it's going to be unique for every family and child. So once you kind of get that calibrated right for your kids and your family, you should be good for a while. But there have been families who it's gotten out of place again and they've done another detox. And this is great. In fact, a lot of these Silicon Valley engineers and CEOs, they'll give themselves dopamine breaks too. So this is it's science-based, and the results are really, the proof's in the pudding.
Molly says for most families like hers, it's not about eliminating technology, just making sure it's in its right place.
And most parents find, pretty much every parent who's reported results back to me has said that their kids get along better. They find new real-life productive hobbies, and they're happier. Their mental health is better. It's just across the board beneficial to these kids.
Her own kids are a testament to that. In just 2 weeks, she says they were free from the grip of technology. Mood shifted, creativity exploded, and they learned how to entertain themselves and enjoy life without screens.
And yours can too. Molly says it can be difficult at first, but giving your kids a break from technology is something that will pay off for them and the entire family for years to come. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
We'll be right back with your Monday motivation. Stay with us. Time now for your Monday motivation, and today I want to leave you with this thought. God does not change. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. But he does help you to change, and here's why. To make you more like Jesus, the only living example of how to live a blessed life here on earth. With that word, make today a marvelous Monday. Be sure to have yourself a wonderful week. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can always find more of our programs on the CBN News channel at any time. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today or any day. You can email us at the address right there at the bottom of your screen, newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We love to hear from you. We'll see you back here tomorrow.